I was cleaning out my desk when I realized that I haven't used my stamps in a while, so today we will be playing with stamps in our Hobonichi Weeks, and these are from AliExpress, from this shop, Mr. Paper Official. And I have two types here. One of them has red rubber and the other one is white, but they kind of look the same. They are of the same theme. They are both sort of like a vintage plant or vintage botanicals, which is one of my favorite aesthetics. But first we will be lining the pages, and I'm marking from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I will be using these pages as a timed journal or a timed planner. I don't often do this, but since the Hobonichi Cousin does have these, I decided to go ahead and use the timestamps, and maybe I'll get used to it and start incorporating that into my planning style. So before we use the stamps, I'm checking the box size, and I am going to be coloring the section where I know the stamp will go using my Stabilo brush pen, and I have raved about these pens for a while. So if you do have the budget, go ahead and purchase these. These are very good investment pens. They are a little bit more expensive, not as expensive as the really professional ones, but they are very good for Hobonichi Cousin pages, for Tomoe River paper, and they're very reliable. So these are the colored areas, and I'm going to grab my wipes so I can use it for stamping because the ink just gets everywhere. So this is the ink pad that I have. I only have just a few colors. Mainly I have been using this one and the black one. And I'm just loading up the stamp with the ink, and then because there's a little bit of excess, I'm going to wipe that off very carefully, avoiding the actual image on the stamp. And then I'm going to push it or press it onto the paper, and a good trick is to have the paper be absolutely flat, and because this side has the written areas of my planner, it's not as crisp, and later you will see the difference. Actually, right now you will be seeing the difference between a paper that's absolutely flat or lying flat versus the one that's a little bit curved or there's stuff behind it. That's why I wouldn't lie flat. So here I'm doing the exact same thing, but as you can see here, it's so much nicer than the first one. And after I use my stamps, I always clean it up. I don't leave it with the stamp or with the ink on it for very long because it does stain, and it has actually started to do that with my white stamps, so that is something to consider. However, I do prefer the white stamps more because the red rubber stamps is not as nice. It doesn't transfer the image as nicely as the white one, as you can see here. There's gaps, and that won't matter if you are going to write over it or use pen over it, but for this one I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to leave it by itself. So now I'm going to fill up my pages with some information. The first one is my sidebar, and this is a summary of my week, and I'm just writing down the days of the week, just the first letter, and then I'm writing down the general schedule that I have. And it's not going to be much because we are on a lockdown right now, while Greater Brisbane is on lockdown. So it's going to cover a lot of the week, but it's going to be lifted on April 1st, just in time for the long weekend of Easter. So I also have some habit trackers on my sidebar, and I'm only tracking Instagram as well as my workouts. I work out 5 times a week, not for very long, just around 10 to 15 minutes each time, and it's quite manageable, and I have been doing it for quite some time now, maybe a couple months. So that is how I manage my time. And then I'm writing down the time that the lockdown started and the lockdown ends. And I'm just writing down what it is so that I don't forget when I look back through these pages. I would know why I wrote those numbers down. And then here I'm trying out a new camera angle, and let me know in the comments down below if you like seeing it like this. I have already started this in my last video, my Hobonichi Weeks plan with me, and I'll link it down below just in case you haven't seen it before. Just check the description. So I highlighted a few hours, and that is my work hours, and that is the only thing that is highlighted. And then I do have some to-dos checklists that I do check off for my work time. Then after that, I would mark some things like dinner, if we watched a movie while eating dinner, and then I'm just filling out the day. And then if I have any chores, I would also write it down here, and part of that is my YouTube, so I do have that on there. And then of course I'm going to write down my workout, and I have been following Solar's Tabata workout. Solar is a member of Mamamoo. She has her own YouTube channel, and Mamamoo is one of my favorite K-pop bands or K-pop groups. And then at the bottom, I did write down my mood. I don't do this often. I don't track my moods, but if you do, this is a great space for that, especially because it's the end of the day, and if you fill it out per hour, then it's a really good tracker. So I'm filming this on Tuesday. That's why I was able to write a few things on Thursday already. And I need to be very good with my work hours because I am working from home by myself. So I don't have a set one. I can start and stop whenever I want to. It's a good thing, but also if you don't manage your time well, then your day could just pass by without you knowing how it got to a certain hour already and not having done as much as you would like. So I was out of ink, and I did not anticipate that. That's why I had to cut this short, and I just wanted to mark that Friday is a holiday. It is the start of the long Easter weekend. But after that, I'm not going to do anything else, and basically the page is complete. And if you'd like to see how this page will turn out, make sure that you're following me on Instagram, and I will be seeing you there. So this is the page complete, and I'll see you in my next one.